I feel like there's so much to talk about right now. So I had a list from last week, and then I didn't end up doing anything, and now I have a list from this week, so I hope I can get through it all pretty quickly. To go back a ways to New Year's, so my tradition is uh, every year since I was like in high school at some point, there's been the kids' party at my house and then the adults' party down the block for like the whole neighborhood. All the people we know, their kids come here and their parents go, and the parents go over there. And I've always been at the teenagers group basically, except the last 2 years I went to New York, so I wasn't around, and then this year I was with the adults. So it sort of marked, I don't know, the passage of time. It was a rite of passage, I guess, whatever you want to call it. That suddenly I'm not with the teenagers anymore, which is really weird, but it makes sense. You know, I'm not a teenager. So I was hanging out with the parents. It was really fun, but it was just like, it was different for sure. So more on the thing that we've been talking about this week. I know exactly what you mean, Kate, when you say that saying I'm fine is sort of like so empty. I've kind of always had a problem with that because, especially when people ask you in passing, like when you're walking down a path and they ask, oh, how you doing? It's like you can't say, oh, I'm not doing well, and expect them to stop and listen, especially if they're not someone you're super close with. But the people you are close with, you should be able to say more than just I'm fine. And I think everyone feels like they can't quite say more, but like you said, everybody wants their people who are close to them to be able to feel comfortable. Like they feel the same way about you that you feel about them, but it's hard sometimes to remember that when you're going through something. I actually had a weird moment with that this morning. Before I watched all of this, I was calling a new therapy place because now that I'm home, I need a new therapist. And the receptionist asked me, like, after all the other questions, asked me, so how are you doing now? And I said, I'm good. I'm totally good. Which is true. I'm luckily in a very good place at the moment, but it felt like I should have had issues to tell her about. It felt like if I was signing up for therapy that I should be in a really bad place, and I wasn't, which was like, I don't know, maybe it just felt like weird. Like, but even though that felt weird, it's important to continue with these things even when you feel okay. Like, so last year, I don't remember what I told you guys. I decided I'm bipolar. I think you guys know, but I decided at one point that I was gonna go off meds because I decided for myself that I was okay. So I went off meds for 8 months. Went a little bit crazy during most of that span, but nobody could quite tell. And then in September, I went way off my rocker. Yeah, I think I might have told you that before. Stopped going to class, stuff like that. But it was really bad because I didn't tell anyone anything. Like, I mean, obviously it was the hypomania, but you need to communicate. You always need to communicate. And that's obviously something I haven't learned yet, despite all of the time spent in therapy. Yeah. And the ceiling said at one point, she's going to be dealing with for the rest of my life. And it's a scary thought. It's a really scary concept that it's like forever. But it's good, because it'll help you forever. And it seems at first like the worst thing in the world to have to deal with it long term, but if that's what keeps you safe and sane, then stick with it. By all means, stick with it. So, Ceiling, I'm glad that you're able to talk now. I hope you feel like you can talk to us more. Anytime, sad, happy, whatever. If there's something anybody feels like they need to talk about, they should. Always, they should feel comfortable. But I'm hoping it'll get better for you. I know, you said like I'm not in the state of depression where I'm not able to move. It's like, so I mean that's big, that's bad, but maybe so's what you're going through. So depression sucks. So whatever you're going through, don't invalidate it by saying like it's not as bad as this other thing, because it's still important. It's probably still painful. So yeah, don't feel like yours isn't as bad as somebody else's. And congrats on the college applications. I know that's kind of a sucky season, but it's big, and you're gonna get into a whole bunch of schools. You're gonna pick a great one, and it's gonna be like the next chapter in your life. And I know it's scary when you're in high school to think about like starting the next chapter, but it'll be good for you. It'll be good for everybody who does it. So good luck with all of that. You're all awesome. In a sentimental, sappy note, I'm glad we're friends. You know, I'm glad we're friends enough that you feel like you can come to us. I've definitely felt like I'm friends enough that I can go to you with stuff. Um, yeah, I'm glad that I've known you guys for so long. I can't believe it's so long. It's, you know, I went through almost all of college with you guys. I feel like you've been there for me. So thanks. DFTVA, guys.